Before we get into today's video, huge shout out to today's sponsor, the United States of America! You have been lied to your entire adult life, as well as your entire child life, and your entire baby life, that France is a real place. Because we all know that it's not, and that it is a fairy tale. God damn. Hello there, my name is John Freedom, and yes, I am the real John Freedom. Welcome back to the John Freedom channel, the Bald Eagle's Nest. We never lose. We never fail to lose. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I never knew the guy, but I'm sure he was a great fella. Today, I will be proving to you once and for all that France is not a real place, and it never has been a real place. In the entire long history of human history, it has never ever existed. You have been spoon-fed lies for your entire life to believe that France is somewhere that you can go, when in reality it might be a human trafficking ring bigger than anything we've ever seen in the entire history of history. Now let me explain. I am not on crack, drugs, weed, anything that you can imagine. Let me explain. France is kind of, in a way, like Darth Vader. Now let me just hear me out on this. France is like Darth Vader because Darth Vader existed, but Darth Vader never existed. He was on a Hollywood set. You know, same thing with probably the Eiffel Tower, like this massive tower. You really expect us to believe. There are a couple reasons why I believe they want us to believe that France is a real place. One of which is because they add this idea that everything we've ever done was helped by France. Revolutionary War, France helped us. Statue of Liberty, France built that. World War I and II, we went to France. No, we didn't. We were in Japan and shit. What do you mean, France? This is just a bunch of lies. So it really is just their attempt by them, for one, to insert themselves into our history. Despicable and a disgrace. Two is because there is I believe, and this is most damning, a human trafficking ring centered around the idea of traveling to France, where most people will travel to a simulation where it's like, oh yeah, I'm in France, look at me, though, there's the Eiffel Tower, where in reality, if you go far enough away from it, you'll hit that map border, and you realize, oh, there's a simulated, France map. Some people will ask then, oh, well, what about French food? Again, another work of Hollywood, another work by them to convince you that France is a real place, and that France is somewhere you can visit. As a matter of fact, some people might even be deceived into going to France, and then they end up in a human trafficking operation because France is never real. How many times have you heard of, I'm going to France, and then they never, return again? You know, your little cousin Joey, I'm going to France, Dad. Okay, son, let's go to... And then they're gone. You never see them again. Their organs are probably in Kenya somewhere. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. There has to be some... Oh, there, my name is John. But today, I have undeniable proof. Undeniable proof that France is not a real place. Anyway, here is the evidence that I have that France is not a real place. Have you ever been to France? Do you know any French people? Do you actually know anybody that's French? Yeah, that's what I thought. You don't. And if you do, they're not French, because France isn't real. They're cosplaying as a people who are existing, when they, quite frankly, clearly, do not exist. And they never have existed for the entire history of time. And I've said this before, but I need to drill it into you because we have been lied to for so long, for so many long years. It's time for the lie to end. This day forward. And then unto other days, there will no longer be this lie spreading throughout our land. Because this video is going to get 5 billion views. And soon enough, everybody around the world will finally realize there's nothing there. But water! There is nothing that maybe, if you're lucky, you'll find Nemo swimming around. But you will never ever find a landmass called France. And I have received multiple reports from multiple different people from all over the world that have been to this stage, and they all confirm the same thing. And quite frankly, it disgusts me that people don't care enough to realize that we are being taught a fairy tale land exists in Europe, and we're just sitting here going about our days. Yeah, I'll go to France someday. That's like saying, yeah, I'll go to Narnia someday when I buy a plane ticket. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You can't go there. You can't go to the Death Star. The Death Star isn't real. You can't go to flippin' Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, because Willy Wonka's chocolate factory isn't real. You can't go to France because it's not existing. If you literally take a plane over where France should be, you'll find there's nothing but water. They're called the Great Lake Basin of Europe. There's just nothing there. You know, the reason I get so heated and angry about this subject is because I hate how the American people are being lied to. There's nothing I dislike more than lies. They don't call me the Lying Larry. There are other people that call lying Larrys, but I am not a lying Larry, I can assure you. And, you know, I wish that people would believe the truth more, instead of these spoon-fed lies. Another reason they might not want us to believe that it's a real place is because they are fascinated with this idea that Europe is the best place to go in the world. Oh, what a laugh. That's probably the funniest thing I've said all day, to be honest. Where it's just not in the slightest, not even close. I think I'd rather go to Larry's house than go to Europe, and that's saying something, because Larry is... Let's not talk about Larry, because, you know, the Lying Larry, he is a character, but, you know, we'll just let him... Oh, God, I can't stop thinking about Larry. No, not in that way, but, like, in a very bad way, you know. Ooh, Larry. Oh, no, not Larry. It's Larry again. Those slimy Europeans actually want us to eat. Some have said to return the Statue of Liberty, like they want it back. Yeah, okay, we'll mail it into the ocean. There it goes. Back down into the water. Yeah, we're mailing it back to Nova. It's not happening. If you want to take my sister away from me, then I'd like to see you try. Because you're going to have to pry her from my cold, dead hands. And even then, you're going to have a hard time, because she's going to be glued to my cold, dead hands. Additionally, if you study the language close enough, you can find out that the language is literally like enchantment table. You can't speak it fluently, like with your mouth, without coughing up 5 gallons of snot. It's not meant for humans to actually speak, which is why I believe it was actually just a written language. Some very talented author or something put in lots of hours to make a whole, like, alphabet. A whole, what do you call it, a dictionary for this made-up language. That's like putting a lot of work into lore when you're making a game. It's like someone put a lot of work into the lore for France, but France isn't real. You can see me in the flesh, but you can never, ever see France in the flesh like you can see me in the flesh. Do you understand that? You'll never be able to. The experience will never be shared. And you, not knowing the better, have been just utterly brainwashed by these mindless people. But we today are going to be the ones with minds, and they are going to be the mindless ones. From this day forward, you will become an educated man, more educated than anybody who has ever existed in the entire history of time. Woman, maybe, I don't know, creature, whatever the fuck you, I don't care, I don't know what you are, to be quite honest. It doesn't matter what you are, listen. France is not a real place, and it is simply a figment of your imagination. Hopefully, from now on, you can now realize that France is not a real place. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that I was able to convince you of the truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you, and I'll see you next time on the John Freedom Channel. God bless America, Patriots! You have us believe that there's actually such a thing as France. It's not real. It's not that's not real at all. It never has been a good
Staying in the entire history of time.